All right. Welcome to
Season
season 6 already of the Shift Happens show. Now, this is a explicit show.
Yeah,
Lucky
unfiltered.
for me.
Unfiltered. So if your littles are around, throw in the earbuds because who knows where we're going to go.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. We don't never know what's going to happen with this show. Hi, ladies. We are just starting. So
you are in the show.
You're in the show. You're in the show.
No green room today. We just brought you right in.
Well, actually, I was going to put them back in the green room. And then, so ladies, we're going to give you a couple minutes.
Yeah, enjoy the charcuterie, the wine. You know, we've gone all out in our green room.
Yeah, you guys just hang tight back there. Okay, cool.
Talk about giving our guests like the old El Pluto.
Welcome and goodbye.
Welcome. Bye.
Welcome, ladies. So, well, we were waiting for our guests to come on, and we were chit-chatting about how this month is Mental Health Month. So I think we decided that next show in a couple weeks, we're going to do something to do with mental health. And I was saying how everyone is getting dates wrong right now. Everyone's just sort of mentally drained in a way. And what we think, or what I think, in my opinion, was that everyone was so gung-ho for like the beginning of the school year. So we spent end of August, everyone's like back to school shopping and they're getting their last little bit of holidays in, and they're trying to, you know, if you're here in Alberta, you're trying to get the last bit of sun in because it's been so crappy during all of summer, right? It's been raining and drizzly and you can't people are camping and they can't really camp. And so I don't know, it's been draining. So if you guys are watching and you're like, I feel the same, just give us a like, because I tell you, so I don't know what it is, but I mean, I've also have been go. I don't know about you, Dina, but even for the summer, like I decided, because I needed time between my seasons. So connected with Carrie for Saturday nights on JESSTV. I just finished season 10 like a month or so ago. And I decided, you know, all of August, I'm just going to do replays because I'm just, again, just so exhausted and there's so much, but I also wanted to enjoy my summer as well. And as everyone should, go enjoy your weekends and do the things. So I put up replays and I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. And then I have, you know, the guests that are supposed to be scheduled in for this week, like, you know, starting this weekend was season 11. And then already there's just, again, mix up with dates and this, that, whatever. And I'm just like, okay, well, let's maybe start end of September.
I hear you.
What's your take on all this brain?
Well, this summer I did a staycation, really dialed back my schedule. I was burning out. And
yeah,
September we've hit 200 plus episodes on the Life Changes Channel podcast. Nice. September we're on hiatus, not even replays, because with the podcast, I've just letting people catch up because they're outdoors, like you say, they're doing other things over the summer. And we were putting out sometimes 3 episodes a week. So there's a lot for people to dial back through and scroll through. And it's a lot of heavy topics around different life changes. For me, dialing back into the schedule throws me off too. And I think people, you know, everything's kicking off, all the sports, all the activities, all the school, and then you throw in a long weekend and we don't know what day it is. So, you know, some grace, we just cut some grace. And maybe that's why it's mental wellness and a focus on suicide prevention as well. So I'm excited. I'm speaking at an event in Lacombe on Sunday, so I hope people will come out and support that as well. Or your local event. There's also Terry Fox runs. There's a bunch of stuff going on. So I really do hope people get in there and support your communities in whatever way that you can. And I'm excited for the ladies that we have coming on the show today, because this is just, it's exciting. People are listening. People are finding that this Shift Happens show can really make a difference, whether it's the shift that is happening in our lives, things we're facing, how can we change our perspective, throw some humor in there, maybe drop a few bombs, whether they're F-bombs or S-bombs or whatever they might be, or just a shift bomb, or what are some shifts in our world that we want to create? So how do we go about it? Who else is out there that is on the same page? So these ladies reached out and they're like, we want to be on your show if at all possible. We would just like We do this, which we will let them explain and tell us more about. And
Right.
I just think it's really important that people know who's out there to help you, or where there's a need that you could support.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I just love having our platform, so we can give a voice to people that may not otherwise, other people may not know about our topic today. Although I did post up saying, well, you made the poster. Thank you for that, as always. It's, of course, people now know it's on spinal shifts. They don't know exactly 100% what we're going to talk about. I did throw it in the caption. As everybody else knows, sometimes we're scrolling through and we don't read the full caption. We'll just look at the picture and go with the music. That's why I try
I
and
know.
find like the
You
catchy
never
music, because I'm like,
disappoint.
right. It was so funny because I actually had a Facebook friend message me and he's like, "Oh, that's such an oldie but goodie song." I was like, "Good," because that gets the attention. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like it'll bring more focus, and what's this on? And maybe they'll actually stop and
Mhm.
read a little bit what it's on. However, if you are like the majority and you're like the scrolling kings of social media and you don't have 30 seconds to read the caption, we have you covered. So just so that you know, our fabulous ladies that are coming on, they're going to share what they do, who they are, and the importance of what they do as well, and why we need people like this in our society today, because this is something that's often overlooked. And again, misinformation may be out there and not enough information may be out there as well. Right, Dina?
Right.
Absolutely.
That's
So,
good.
ladies, so we'll bring you in from the green room. I think they're all set up now. We just kind of, again, threw them on and been like, oh, hi. They were just coming in and settling in, but now we can welcome them to the stage. Hello, Sarah and Wanda. You guys can feel free to unmute your mic there. If you can't, I can try it for you. We'll see how they do. Oh, there we go. Okay.
There.
Guys.
Hi. You can hear us?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Loud
great.
and proud.
So we're live. That's fun.
You betcha.
Yeah, we can just, Dina and I can go
Buckle up.
away and you guys can take it away from here if you want. It is so nice to meet both of you. If you guys can both do, we'll start maybe with Sarah, just a quick introduction of who you are, your title, your role in your workplace. And then again, Wanda, you'll do the same. And then we'll get into a few questions as well. And we'll kind of just carry on with the conversation that way. All right. So Sarah, please take it away.
Great. Thank you. As I've been introduced, I'm Sarah. I live in the community of Red Deer, Alberta. I work for Spinal Cord Injury Alberta. I work under the CAPC-C program, which is the community access for persons in continuing care. And that is a program that has been developed under our spinal cord injury for persons under the age of 65 to access the community and work on, and I just, I work within the community as well and with the clients of spinal cord injury.
Very nice. Okay, Wanda, would you like to take it away?
So my name is Wanda. I've been with spinal cord injury going on 14 years now. I've done all sorts of things there, but currently I'm the community engagement specialist. So we are just from one end of this province to the other, it would seem, just trying to spread the word and, get all of our resources out there in all programs. And I've lived here in Red Deer for almost 20 years. So building the community and being here got personal.
So many questions.
Just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So many questions. I asked you questions.
I want to hear more, like, okay, what do you do? What is the primary thing that you are doing? What awareness is it that you want people to hear? If they leave with nothing else today, what would be the biggest message?
So the biggest message that I think that we need to get out there is that we do have endless services right across Alberta. Right from time of injury, where we have a dedicated staff that meets you right at hospital level. We'll work with you at, well, any facility that's in Alberta, but predominantly the Glenrose and Foothills Medical Centers.
Okay.
And basically, there is a pile of us, and our positions vary from social workers to peers to RNs to you name it, just a collective group of amazing people that transition from injury to home to life. Sarah and I in this area, Red Deer and rural is a really interesting because there's so many of us and we're each doing our own thing. And so ever since COVID, we're stronger together. We've all figured this out the hard way. And so now we have the opportunity to not just be the CAPC program and just meet you at hospital and hope we can follow through. Like, now we have the opportunity to hit the ground wheeling and, spread the services and the word, and most importantly, to keep building this really great community of people that we've got on board as partners, as advocates, stakeholders, and most importantly, just humans in our region and in our midst. And it's funny, when we go to huge events, they'll be like, "Oh, are these all your clients?" And it's like, no, they're all our community and our friends. Like, where the line is anymore, who knows?
Yeah.
That's the best.
Clients turn into family, don't they?
Yeah, totally. Wanda, being in this program for 14 years, has really built a community. She's really helped people not only just navigate change, but also create a community where people feel included and like nothing's changed. It's a part of people's lives. People don't realize how important it is to go and do things that people used to do before their injury, like water skiing. Wanda's helped facilitate that. So adaptive water skiing, or going out and doing axe throwing, or just having a community barbecue, having all of these things together and being inclusive with everyone is something that we really try to get the word out about.
Yeah. So now I got a partner, and we're just gonna destroy this whole area with nothing but a good time.
This month is
You're at the right place.
Yeah, you are. This month is a lot of focus around mental health, and I can only imagine what people are facing with their mental health and the adjustment when, especially when you first meet them at the hospital. Them and their families are trying to adjust to the changes that they don't even know yet, how much they'll heal, how they're going to go home, and then long term, how you can support them. Do you have team members or collaborations to support people in that way too? And tell us more about that.
Absolutely. It's our program is it's designed with incredible people in all the right places in their lives. Our team that meets you at the Glenrose or the Foothills are not just client service coordinators, but they're actually lived experience. And so they're coming at you from a place of the most genuine and humble of places that you can meet a person. And so that begins the journey. And then we start with programs, events. We have the most amazing people at both facilities, because it's so much more than just a rehab facility or a hospital stay. It's anywhere between 3 to 9 months of learning how to dress, feed yourself, navigate life, Well, in the back burners, there'll be people in your community like myself that are helping your employer, your neighborhood, your school even. Like, how are we going to get you home, the modifications into your houses? And the one hard thing about Red Deer is that we used to have an entire office. And so when you left the big facility and came back into Red Deer, we had a whole office and a whole team that could facilitate you here as well. But through funding and COVID and all the things, it was just me. And so it wasn't that it was on behalf of us that people fell through the cracks, but they fell through the cracks everywhere and together. And we had no choice but to kind of keep going and pick yourself up and find the people who are still in play, and then, you know, build on those people that are still there. So what we started doing was just partnerships with really anybody who was still in the game. So some of the first people that I ever reached out to was Team Jigger, Jason Lunn. Wow, you've got to put him on your show. He's the most incredible person I ever met. And his whole journey was, he got hurt. He was just a regular Joe, came back into his community and realized he couldn't. So he built a rehab facility and stacked it. I can't even make it up. And so when you meet somebody like that, it's like, oh man, we can do better. And so it's since then that I watched a full C4 or 6 quad walk a football field. So cool. Right? And so as we partner and as we get all these community investments, it's the people like that that are outside of our team, and then the people that we're all pulling from. Sarah and I are part of the Red Deer Reapers Wheelchair Rugby. With that, we get a chance to meet Wheelchair Sports Alberta. Zach McDowell, I mean, he's got gold legs. Like, he's an Olympian, you know? So these partnerships and community building, it's such a buzz. And we take some really dark days and dark times, and we give hope. Yeah, I guess. That was long-winded. I don't even know if I answered.
Okay, I'll ask it again. Because you touched on it a bit. It's the mental health support that you offer.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm also curious to know, not only for your clients, but you're dealing with a lot of heavy, dark stuff too. And how do you look after your own mental health? And I'm curious to know, with the client base that you work with, is there a higher rate of suicide attempts, a suicide like that happens? Like, I feel like a lot of people, this isn't meant to be funny, but if they hit a wall, which they literally may have had happened, how do they feel like their life can go on? So it just feels like this is the end of my life. I've lost, whatever level of function of my body. So how do you support them with their mental health? How do you take care of your own? And is suicide also higher in that population?
Yeah. It is more now that it's made it onto the MAID list. So it's really heavy conversation in our community. But I want to put that over to Sarah for a bit, because one of the things that we can talk about with mental health really ties into, I'll let you go on that. But one thing that I can say before we go on with that is that mental health has gotten so overwhelming in our communities that it's not just spinal cord injury, because in Sarah's program, you are in long-term care for any reason at all under 65.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So what we've seen in the last 2 years, the really cool part is that I am just kind of moving into a different position and Sarah's moving into mine. So it's
Oh, okay.
cool that we get to do this. But one of the things that I noticed right outside in COVID and outside of it was that most of the referrals used to be MS. We're in the MS belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
now more than spinal cord injuries, everything, it's mental health. So we're having people land in long-term care and their only ailment is mental health. And so
Yeah.
I'm going to put that over to Sarah now because Sarah forgot to mention it. But Sarah also lives with a spinal cord injury, and that's why I desperately wanted Sarah on our team, because she is a living, walking testament to hope and persevering mental health. And so on that note,
Yeah. Well, so I do have a spinal cord injury. It's a non-traumatic spinal cord injury. So I have nerve damage from my my L4 to my S2, and I've had over 10 surgeries with my spine. I have an implant in my spine too that that helps reduce that pain signal from my back and my leg to my brain, and I control it with a little iPod. It's the coolest thing. It's really neat.
so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But mental health has been a really big reason as to why I got into this line of work. As a registered nurse, it's really difficult to do any kind of nursing with a busted back, with a spinal cord injury. There's some days that I can walk, and there's some days that I can't. I've been in and out of a wheelchair for the last 10 years of my life, and so getting into working where I do has really been about connection for me as well. So it's been a bit of a back and forth. Like I get what I give as well, because I give a lot of connection and a lot of those resources and that mental health connection as well. But I also get that in return. So, but mental health is a huge thing that we deal with all the time. I'm more so in the long-term care side of things. So I see it just more so in the sense of isolation, as opposed to that new injury kind of phase that people are in. But we do have resources depending on just where you are in your injury and in your journey. We have social workers that we have throughout both Calgary and Edmonton offices. We unfortunately don't have a social worker in the central location, but we have lots of resources in Calgary and Edmonton that are really, really great and really help us out. And then just honestly keeping eyes on people. And we do a lot of companion work as well, because we do know that having that connection, just with getting out or even talking with another person, that connection is something that is really healthy for another human being. So we also really focus on the companion part of the mental health as well. So we have a couple different facets that we work at. But it is definitely top priority, because it's such a big player. Like Wanda was saying, there's some people that don't have, anything else other than depression, and, they're 62 and they'll be in long-term care forever, so that's a lot to work through with a lot of people. So, yeah.
Wow. First of all, thank you for coming on and sharing your story, because that in itself is bravery, and just to be able to work amongst, those that have been through similar situations, you're always reflecting back to yourself consistently through the day and just going like, I was just there. So I imagine you kind of bounce between the thresholds of either, feeling great that you've accomplished so much, but then it will drag you back into going, this is where you were just at, and all the feelings that you had at that time, So yeah, really just to even just come on and to talk about that. Thank you so much for coming on. And what you guys are doing is so amazing. Because again, it's just even that feeling of being alone even just mental health, like you said, if it's just mental health or just a spinal cord injury, they're, you know, maybe two separate things, but at the same time, everyone deals with something deep and dark. And it's just, like you said, to have a companion, someone there to even just talk to, or even just have a shoulder to cry on, can make such a world of difference. So my question as well that I wanted to kind of ask was, how do you pair people up or have a companion? What are, you know, what do you have two that are injured together? Do you have like a group? Take us a little bit through that as well.
So that'll fall into different programs that we're running at Spinal Cord Injury. I encourage everybody and anybody that has any type of disability to hop onto SCI Alberta and just to reach out to the resources. One of the things that we have in there is it is mental health based, because we are connecting our communities. So we've got peer groups that are all like, we've got a ladies club. We've got, what was the question?
How do you connect people? How do you pair them up?
How do you pair them up when they're in the program? I mean, you guys are just as nutty as us. It's great.
Yeah. It's a full moon.
Yeah, it really is. Holy man. So within our different programs, we're really lucky that we have experts in all, but we also have a lot of different personalities. So when we're matching people up in the CAPC-C program, that has so many different approaches, because there's a lot of people in your life when you're in care.
Right.
And so sometimes you're just, you're another person, and now I've got to remember you and all of these things. So our first connections sometimes aren't always that positive, because they're like, here we go. Here's another person making out. So it's been a lot of work to hone down those skills and to meet people where they're at. And when they're speaking, listen and give everybody the opportunity to be heard and to be seen. And that's how I always did my matches, was more, okay, we've lined you up, all these things match, but then it always becomes the personality. So I will say that I have an amazing companion, and I truly couldn't have done all the great things we've done these years without them. They have made the program. They're the ones that are, you know, changing people's lives, bucket lists, last wishes, all of it. But just, yeah. So the one lady, she is the grumpy she's the grumpy person whisperer. So when I meet somebody and they're cantankerous, I'm like, this is amazing. Have I got the girl for you?
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of times we'll do matching like that, but a lot of times I really find it's personality. It's like, you should really talk to my buddy Rob. And he's our client services coordinator in Edmonton, a wealth of all knowledge, and is living with an SCI. And so a lot of it goes off field. And there's a lot of times we're just going to put together an event and hope for the best. I've been working for the last few years with a gentleman named Jerry Kress, and we put together the Red Deer Reapers wheelchair rugby team, and matching people, it all came together for me one afternoon when I seen him show up at my son's hockey practice, because he was the coach, and he was a double amputee, so he was on a sledge. And I was like, no shit, what are the chances? So we became friends, and he's just like, we just moved here like a few years ago. And so anyways, I invited him to wheelchair rugby, and I watched this 6'5" man just stand there, and he couldn't even, you know, he couldn't even get the words out. He was like, oh, my people, you know.
I
They're
love
here.
that.
Yeah.
I feel like
So cool.
I can relate to your grumpy person whisperer, because I've when I encounter people like that myself, I'm just like, challenge accepted.
Yes.
Where do we start?
Bring it
Um,
on.
I love that. I think myself, but anybody listening would love to hear more of the success stories. Like you mentioned
Yes.
about the water skiing. Can you, after these many years, you must have so many stories of success, because we're all about hope and a new
Yeah.
perspective on things.
Yeah. And I think also too, like, a lot of people don't even understand that these programs exist,
Yeah.
for one. So they may know somebody that would love to just be able to go and like I said, it's not even on the news, these things, you know, you just don't hear about it. So it's like sometimes these sports come and go and you're just like, you don't even know that they can even participate. You know, some people just think, oh, they can just go and watch. But no, like, yeah, there's Olympians that do the sledge hockey, and there's, you know, there's a wide variety of things out there that I know of. But yeah, take us a little bit through, like, how did you guys even find these sports, and how do you get everyone involved? Like, just take us through the whole thing, because it's always fun to hear about it.
Yeah. Well, do you want to, the first time you came to watch?
You guys can fight over it if you want.
Yeah, no. Well, we have so many success stories. I'll let Wanda speak on the Reapers, because she's the one that is the mastermind, the savant behind all of that.
Yeah.
But
so good for my ego. I hope I can get out of the room when we're done.
Yeah.
But we have so many great matches with companions and with some of our clients. So we have one companion that she took out a few of her clients. I think it was 2 or 3 of the older guys, all under 65, and they just went fishing for the day. And that was the first time that they had had an opportunity to go fishing and to get out into the community for over a decade. And
Wow.
so, yeah.
When you showed up and seen wheelchair rugby, and we recently just had Sarah come and join us water skiing. And I never say much because I just want people to see it. So.
Yeah, well, I'm her little sister. That's why she drags me into all of this.
You know what? Yeah. You got to do what you got to do. The big, you know, you just got to drag them. That's all there is.
Well, yeah.
Kicking and screaming, whether they have feet or not. Let's just go.
If they're on wheels, it's even easier.
Even easier. You know, just like there's a staircase. To watch your words.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's been honestly such a big success for me, has been having my big sister in spinal cord injury while I've gone through a spinal cord injury for 10 years. And I mean, it's been something that has kept me out of the depths of depression as deep as you can go, you know, like it's something where I went from doing triathlons to being in a wheelchair like overnight almost. So it was one of those things that it just, you know, you can't help but plateau at your mental health. But my sister, my big sister, she's the person that through the Lending Cupboard, that's another amazing organization that is in Red Deer, is the Lending Cupboard. A lot of people don't know about it. I'm not sure if you've ever spoken about it on your show, but
no, we haven't.
Is it okay? The Lending Cupboard is it's that they lend out medical equipment absolutely for free. There is nothing that you have to do, nothing that you have to put down. So my sister got me a wheelchair because I was too embarrassed to go and get it on my own. And then, don't you know it, that my big sister took me to the grocery store and thought, oh, I'll just push her around and I'll just show her what for. And then I started to scream and pretended that I didn't know her and said, somebody help me! I don't know this woman!
Do you guys, I bet you guys race, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I know it. See,
oh, yeah. But with the Reapers, the Reapers and even sledge hockey and all that good stuff, that's all Wanda. She's been the brainchild of that and brought that to the community. So.
Well, I've been really lucky because Red Deer somehow has turned into Central Alberta's hub for adaptable sport.
Cool.
Like, everybody here is on board. We have the dog is a completely accessible rink surface. So we can play sledge hockey there, no big deal. Just roll in, roll out. Like,
So cool.
blows my mind. And those are just small little things. And, you know, it's like, you know, it'd be really great if we could play sledge hockey here. And so then Team Jigger gets sledge hockey going. And then I bump into a lady who, or we were on the same hockey team with the coach that needed a sledge. And she was like, my son doesn't have full use of his legs. Can we, like, where's the junior team? I was like, well, and so,
you tell us,
then,
where's the team?
Yes.
And so basically we get involved with these projects, and it's the community that kicks in, and they're just like, what can we do to help? Like, I was on that project with Jen LaCourse. She is a teacher. We've got moms on the board that have children that, you know, are in any type of disability. We've got, you name it. My favorite is always when we start an event on in a chair or on a sledge, and at the end of it, everybody, well, not everybody, but when people stand up, it's like, So we do that because we always need able-bodied people in the mix to help out. But
Oh, yeah.
we did a try-it event for sledge hockey, and I thought nobody's really going to be interested. It's Red Deer, and there was a lineup out the door of everybody. Like, can I try? I've never seen this. At one point, we had the Fuzz out there in their uniforms. And then with wheelchair rugby, getting into that was just building a community that they get to beat the ever-loving piss out of each other. It's just a bonus. Like, it is the most
so fun,
violent, crazy, fun game I've ever been a part of. And so many times I see people like, oh, rugby. I'm like, oh no, it's a community. Like, when we went out to water skiing, one of the first times I went out there, I just have to throw a shout out to Todd Shaker. He loves water skiing so much that he has a property out in Lacombe where he built his own water ski lake. Can't make it up. Right? Like, how cool is that? And then doesn't he get involved with adaptive sport? And so next thing you know, we're all out there water skiing. And we had a client out there, and I had nothing to do with the event. The first time I went out, I was like, we'll go see. Next thing you know, everybody in the world is there. And so this client that I kind of knew gets out. He's a full quad. There is nothing he can move or feel from the clavicle down.
Wow.
We get him in the water. We get him all sorted out. 4 people get him up and water ski with him. You got to see it to believe it.
Wild. Yeah.
That's
And
great.
he's like, I thought he was screaming. And so I'm standing close to his wife, and I'm just kind of like, oh no, here we go. This looks bad. And I was like, oh, okay, it'll be over quick. And she's like almost in tears. She was like, he's laughing. She was like, the first time I heard him laugh like that in years.
Oh,
Wow.
that is
Right?
so sweet.
And just
So
to feel the water, the freedom. So,
Just the different scenery too does a lot. Just to not be in a center or being around, like, you get just the freedom of just being able to do the things that you used to be able to do. And even though like you still need a little bit of help, but when you look at it, it's like these people actually truly care about you, that are like, yeah, let's get you out here. Let's do the things. And one thing I love that I have heard past stories on is when like there's maybe like police departments or major like league baseball players or football players that actually go and do sledge hockey, or they do the wheelchair hockey or the wheelchair rugby and that kind of stuff.
Basketball.
Those things I think are truly needed, especially when they're younger children, you know, maybe teenagers, whatever, and then they get to see like their heroes, you know, come and experience what they live with every single day. And I don't know if you guys ever done any charitable things like that.
Well, we're very, very lucky to have Ryan Stratinsky in our community. And so he takes care of all of that. He'll show up for every event. He's got such an investment into sports and with children, and he'll show up for sledge. We've played wheelchair rugby with them, and unfortunately his jam is wheelchair basketball, so we can't entice him any more than we've already tried. But getting those people into our wheelhouse is absolutely priceless, especially when it's a story of, like, you can't even wrap your head about it. Zach Medell, I mean, he's had this injury his entire life and then grows up to be a Paralympian. Like, how? Like, I'm humbled to be around any of them. So yeah, we're fortunate enough that we do get anybody that can definitely tries to help us out. We're lucky enough to also have Jerry Kress, who is the wheelchair, the Reapers president. He used to be Steel Wheels in Edmonton, and we kick their ass all the time. Well, we don't, but I'm supposed to, you know.
It's okay. You can put it out there. We won't say anything. We will just, you know.
Put a challenge there.
We believe it.
He was placed into the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame. And so we do a lot of work with them as well.
Also located in Red Deer.
Yeah. And so the kids just love that kind of stuff. So yeah, if anybody hears this, come on out to our event.
I think it's amazing that it gives people an opportunity to appreciate and experience how hard it is, like what these people are living with every day, and the skill that is involved for them to find mobility in the tools that are there, how humbling it is to ask for help, and how liberating it is to give yourself permission to ask for help and accept help, and like, instead of screaming at your sister in the grocery store. But it's hard, right? And in many ways, and so it's an opportunity. Couple things I want to touch on, though. Events. So can you give us some specific events, and also how can the listeners help? What can they do? Are there volunteer opportunities? Is there something that they can do the next time they see someone that is needing some help? How do they offer that? Because I think we worry that, we're going to insult them. So, like, do we look at them? Do we look away? Do we offer to help? Are they going to be insulted? Like, how do we
just go up and pop a wheelie with them? Or like, do we want to like do a standoff in the grocery store and be like, I'm gonna race you? What's the protocol?
Yeah. No, I find for helping people that are, have some sort of disability or anything of the sort, it's always a good idea to ask, because I personally don't want you to touch me, but there's a lot of people that are okay with it, but I'm still working through my own mental health barriers with my issues when I can't walk, and it is far from what a lot of people do experience, but I find even just with our clients and with people that I've had as a companion, it's always just best to wait until they ask for help or until you can ask them. Because if they need help, they will let you know.
Mhm.
We will let you know, I promise. But it is one of those things where just maintaining our own autonomy and maintaining our own independence is the top priority for a lot of people with a spinal cord injury. And unfortunately, sometimes it feels like it's taken away, even if it is something that is meant from the kindness of someone's heart. It's a beautiful thing. It still would interact on someone's autonomy or independence, and so it can be a really touchy subject sometimes. But if we need help, we'll let you know for sure.
Or if in doubt, can we say, hey, can I get that for you? You got this. You good? Or something like that?
Totally.
Like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think just having the conversation as if our clients are normal, because we all are. We're all normal. It's just our client has a different mobility device than I do.
Right.
You know, and I don't mean normal as in, you know, any negative connotation. It's just, you know, that's the only difference between me and one of my clients is that they have a mobility device and I'm not using that same one. So just keeping that in mind and keeping that conversation that you don't have to change how you talk or change how you are. It's just talking to someone with a mobility device, essentially.
Right. Yeah. Because I would rather open a door for someone than just like walk through and have it swing back and like, oh, you're good, right? You said you got it. Like, come on now. Like,
But
naturally, I will get
my
the door
mobility
for you,
advice
like,
is my 2 feet, but
it
might be 2 wheels.
Sometimes our own brains and feet don't work. They're like,
exactly.
It's true though, because
But
I
it's true,
remember like Sarah and I, when Sarah was in her chair, there was a long time where people wanted to help too much because she was very young and all of these things. And so we had to maneuver around boundaries and help because people think, oh, there's nothing to just pushing a wheelchair, where it's like, no, those are my legs. Like if I fall out, all these things. So we used to have to struggle with that quite a bit because Sarah is an amazing advocate for the world, but also for herself. So in that journey, we've traveled the world seeking help for her and her back and other medical issues, and just navigating that as the people that are living it has made us so prepared. And so I think we're lucky enough that it comes second nature. So yeah, I think when you always have good intentions, people know. But I want to say that my friend Jeff, we used to work together and we were the walk and roll team. And people would try to get him help all the time as he was transferring into his truck. And they'd be like, can I give you a hand? And he'd always be like, yeah, if you can check the oil, that'd be great. And so having humor and the conversations, they're hard conversations, but we found a lot of humor in it all, and it's really opened up the opportunity for people to approach us and have the conversations. Because yes, I mean, when I'm running with her in the Safeway and she's screaming, I don't know this lady, and
I love that.
We tried to get into a liquor store once too, and we couldn't get their chair in, and so there's all these people, and I scream out, they don't like your type here, and then the owner was like, I can't believe you said that, and I was like, hey, it's not accessible.
Yeah, you can't get in.
And sometimes it's just that simple, and it's just that easy. Give me a hand, get the door, common courtesy.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I have a lot of people in my wheelhouse that are like, yeah, do you need a hand?
Well, I bet after some time too, like, you know, it dawns on you, it's like, oh, everyone keeps asking. It's like, okay, you know, you get like fed up, like I'm done, like just stop asking, you know, as well. Like I bet there's like just that other end of the spectrum of just like, if one more person asks me if I need help, they are really going to need some help.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Right?
How else can we support you? Any events, any fundraising?
Yeah.
So basically just keeping in touch with our social media, being in our wheelhouse. We are trying to do more events in Central. Calgary and Edmonton, they're really good at it and do events all the time. And we're going to get there, but yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
So we do have coming up right now is a peer conference. And so we're expecting a huge turnout for that. And that's going to be September 18th.
Okay.
And that's going to be at the TELUS Spark Center. And that's where we have invited all of our stakeholders, advocates, anybody in our wheelhouse. We've invited them to Calgary to join us at TELUS Spark for a day of just connecting and getting those connections and building healthy, inclusive communities together. So the peer events is the big one.
Yeah.
And then just, keeping an eye on the pulse. The biggest way people can support is to stay curious and to show up at our events. And when you hear that we're having a tournament in Edmonton on the 18th of this month, like, people show up, check it out, because you are not going to believe what we got going on. As one of the only able-bodied people on the team, it's my job to flip everybody over. Right side up. And so
that's an important job.
It is an important job.
Yeah.
I honestly think if even the only piece that people got out of this today is how to offer help, how to approach and to honor, people's boundaries or their wishes, and understand that it can be very exhausting. You might think you're the only person that they've encountered that day, but just pause and think about that. And it's something that can be taught to our children or our partners or our friends or whoever. When you do encounter someone like that, it's like, hey, I got this. And this is something that we can help spread that awareness.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just meeting everybody where they're at, and just show up as your authentic self.
Yeah, and stay curious.
Very
Curious.
Yeah. But never be afraid to ask questions, because the worst thing that somebody could say is go away or no. But the greatest thing they can do is say, like, you're not going to believe this, but we're going water skiing next weekend. Here's the address. You got to show up because you're not going to believe this shit. And we mean it. Like, some of our other big events for anybody that'll hear this and they are currently in rehab is, or even outpatient, is to get connected with your rehab facilitators, with your rec therapists. If you don't know who they are, ask what days that we're in the facilities. Up in Edmonton, we've got pizza nights, coffee afternoons. We're playing pickleball, we're swimming, like bowling. So those are all the things that are coming to Red Deer and Central. So I really encourage everybody to just stay tuned, and this dynamic duo, we're gonna kick it out. We've been called worse.
Yeah, true.
I mean, everyone's got their thing. It's okay. We don't judge here.
Thank you.
We stay curious. That's what we do. And we help everyone understand that there is a different shift between, when you have all your limbs and your abilities, and then you go into something where you're unable. But now it's like that mindset of like, just because they look different or they're moving around differently doesn't mean their mindset shifts like it goes maybe even better. Like they're doing things now that they've never done before just because of that, right? Or they're learning so much more, or they're having way more fun because they are around people that are, they have the disabilities too. So they're like, yeah, this is, what, disability people are way better than able-bodied people. Like they're more fun and they've got a better sense of humor and whatever. So everyone else can just suck it right up. Like,
well, it's an inspiration too, because some people like the
Totally.
Olympian you mentioned,
oh yeah,
would he have been an Olympian if he hadn't had that? Maybe that really
Right.
pushed him to excel.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. We work with one of the most amazing women I've ever met. Her name is Kendra, and she sustained her injury quite a while ago, quite a few years ago, but it's never held her back. And so she's somebody we water ski with because she's a Canadian national champion. Like,
and we all make excuses. We're like, I can't get out of bed to go to the gym. I can't do
Right.
this, whatever. And then there's like these guys that are, and you're like, there are no excuses. Like,
we get that a lot when we do a try-it event, because we'll have a wheelchair for rugby there, and people look at me like, oh no, I hurt my arm, or I've got this toe that's sore, and we're just like,
hop in.
yeah. Like, you're complaining to the wrong crowd. Get in
Exactly.
the chair.
Yeah, and what also is so commendable is that those that do have to maybe get into a wheelchair, they're learning how to maneuver it and do things, and they have to think outside of the box. Whereas a lot of us are just like, we don't even think twice about walking or doing whatever. So they've had to learn a whole new skill set just on that end. And then of course, bring it to others' attentions. Like you said, like you can't get into the liquor store because there's no ramp, or people aren't holding the door open, or this or that. So it's like, what, as a society, maybe we should all be doing a whole lot better. Although I do have to say, I do live in Calgary. Dina does not. But what I've noticed here in Calgary is more of the intersections, like even like smaller, neighborhood intersections, are becoming more accessible. Yeah. So they're making them a lot more like slanty, I don't know, curvy thing. Whatever you want to call it, ramps. So they're not necessarily ramps, but you know what I mean? Like they're taking the corners and they're dipping them down so that they are wheelchair accessible. And I'm just like, that is such a great thing, even though there's traffic from all the construction or this or that, people are complaining. But I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, this is not only great for those that are, in wheelchairs, but those parents that have strollers, and like it takes up, like it's just so much easier. Skateboard, exactly. Even bikes, little kids' bikes, rollerblades, you name it, right? So it's such a wonderful thing. So hopefully, I don't know if Red Deer's got any, Dina, I don't know, but yeah,
These
I think
ladies would be
everywhere.
the experts on the Red Deer.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
always working on it. But that's how you can help as well, is just always pointing it out every opportunity. Everybody thinks that it's confrontational, but it's truly not. My dad is blind, and so when I do a audit, I'm like, I'm not thinking just about wheelchairs. I'm thinking about my dad. I'm thinking about my sister with a walker or a cane. I'm thinking about myself pushing strollers. Like, we are all, the world is way better for all of us if it's flat. So every opportunity, right? And that was also coming together in Red Deer. That was a collective group of people working with the CNIB to get the beepers on stoplights, the countdown. Right? It's like, I need to know how much time I have. It's like,
final countdown.
Yeah.
Can I make it in 10 seconds? Yes or no? If
but also for all of us, like, do we have to book it? Do we, so inclusivity it's easy if we all do it together.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of people don't think about it, but they're going to need it one day too. We're all going to age, hopefully, and eventually mobility will be
gracefully.
Yeah. So we will be aging eventually, and
Mhm.
it is something that we will either have to think of with aging parents or aging
Mhm.
siblings or aging ourselves.
Yeah.
It's not even just us and our clientele with wheelchairs. It's a lot of accessibility is going to be for everybody.
Hmm.
Very good
And
point.
it makes, we're all included. We're all, welcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies. We're just about up on the hour here.
Yeah.
So inspiring to hear about the work you're doing, the
Yeah.
changes you're making in order to make people's lives so much better, and what you've shared with us that can help us be better citizens in our
Mhm.
communities, and also be part of this awareness and creating change.
Yeah. And next time I see you guys in the grocery store, it's game on.
I look forward to it. Thank you so much.
If you're in
for
Calgary, let me know.
Yeah.
We've got like giant superstores here, so it's on.
It's on. We'll play rugby.
Yeah.
Right,
Great.
exactly. And I also just want to extend an invitation if you guys also want to be on the Connected with Carrie show that I do on Saturday nights on JESSFM. Reach out to me, and I will by all means would love to have you guys on there too to spread some more awareness, especially for your events and things like that. If you need more of a crowd, by all means, just let me know. And for those names that you dropped during your show as well, if you think they would be advocates to come on, by all means, I extend that out to them as well, because the more information out there, the better, right? So yeah, absolutely. Thank you,
And
ladies.
for anybody who's listening, this recording will be available as a replay on our Shift Happens show webpage, as well as it'll be out on the Life Changes channel podcast once we come off our hiatus in October. So,
Right. And it's live right
and
now
YouTube.
on,
Yeah.
my underground radio. See, YouTube is going right now, so you can catch it there live right now. But if you need to watch the replay right now, you can go back. This will also be doing a replay right after this show. I'm going to be sticking it up on my LinkedIn, and it will be also going on to my personal Facebook page. And then it's
So
going to
share
be
it.
also going over on the Underground Radio's the Instagram page, because the more it's out there, the more it's extended. And yeah, the knowledge is power, right? So let's get out there. Dina, I can't wait till you get your hiatus off your butt.
Oh, it's only the podcast that's on hiatus.
That's okay. That's okay, because my show is also on hiatus, although I did replays during the summer, and that's no excuse. But anyway, hope you guys
ladies.
have a great afternoon. Thank you again, Sarah and Wanda. We will talk to you guys soon. Have a great rest of your week and weekend, being a Wednesday. So happy hump day, ladies.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Dina, for a great show. We'll see everybody in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 24.
2 weeks. We're going to talk about mental health. We're going to try and have a guest on. If we don't have a guest, it'll be Dina and myself. So if you want to put in any comments, or if you want to send us a message regarding mental health, if there's something you've struggled with that you want to share, perhaps we will share that story with the audience. Let us know. And with that, have a shifters. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.
Toodaloo.